forever, killer. I drop bombs like Hiroshima.
Somebody said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh, shit. Oh, all right, bet. Here we go.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
One, two, three, four.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I hope you're all have had a really good weekend. Coming through on a Sunday night to talk about whom else? Diddy. Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka Brother Love. As we've all been digesting the news, are still trying to digest. We've all been so busy with the fact that he was arrested. He even appealed his remand on bail. And we've been so caught up in all of that many of us don't know, or maybe weren't aware that a book dropped. Yeah, a book. The book is titled Kim Porter's Last Words. Kim Porter's Last Words. You all heard about it. People have been doing live book readings, and the alleged author, James T. Millwood, dropped in another content creator's chat and hit the live stream a day ago. And we got to hear a little bit more about how this book came about, how this book, came to be. This book this 60-page novel that I'm going to tell you all a little about here. And I'm going to drop this live stream that occurred with the alleged author, James T. Millwood. He had a lot to say about how this book came into fruition, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I would love to know how to get in touch with James T. Millwood, but I don't know how to get in touch with James T. Millwood. Maybe if he hears this, he'll hit me up at LeakYou@LeakYou.com, and maybe I could have him on the show and talk to him about this book of these allegations that have been levied against Diddy, you all. Let me tell you a little bit about this tell-all book, this alleged memoir that has become a Amazon bestseller. It is called Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side. And it allegedly contains information that Kim Porter saved on a flash drive. Now, the death of Kim Porter has been mysterious. It has been called under question since the day that she died. For years, it has been alleged that she was poisoned. She fell ill in her Lake Toluca home suddenly and died a few years back. And, many people have not been very accepting of her death, saying that Diddy had something to do with it, right? Those are the allegations that these things have been alleged, right? As well as poisoning, attempt of Jamie Foxx, a poisoning attempt of Albie Shore, who also was married to Kim Porter at one point, had a child with her, etc., 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 right? This book that dropped on September 6th, surprisingly, a few days before Sean Combs was arrested on sex trafficking charges, right? This book, the author says that it was just pure D luck that this book happened to drop just a few days before federal authorities arrested Sean Combs, right? Many people could put a lot into that, right? But let me tell you all a little bit more about this book. Now, this 60-page novel, again titled Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice, contains information that Kim Porter had on a flash drive. This is another form of a hard drive, a thumb drive, right? And allegedly gave this drive, including these writings, to friends before her death. And she died unexpectedly back in 2018. She left behind 4 children. She had 3 with Sean Diddy Combs. Now, according to reports, and this book under the name of Jamal T. Millwood. His name has been getting, put out there. I don't know if he wants his name out there, but some news organizations, they want the legal name for legal reasons, et cetera, et cetera. But I can tell you, this is an unauthorized and unconfirmed memoir. There's no way that we can confirm with Kim Porter that she even wanted these writings published, right? But that does not take away the fact that details, and people are really thirsty right now, right? To be in the know of anything, any kind of information, right? This book is on Amazon's. It is number 1 on Amazon's list of Western U.S. biographies, okay? Now, the publisher of this book has shared that a source close to Kim Porter actually shared this flash drive with him, and that he took it upon himself to share her story from the grave. He said that he was lucky enough to meet someone that had Kim Porter's flash drive. Now, he's told multiple media outlets this information as well. And it's deep. You all, some people are named in this book, and I'm going to start with the big one. Justin Bieber. Yeah. It is being alleged that there is a tape that is being shopped around in the dark web that allegedly shows Justin Bieber and Sean Combs in a very precarious situation. Ooh, Salah. A then 18-year-old Justin Bieber. Now, this book accused Sean Combs of assaulting Kim Porter, taping himself having sex with allegedly male teenage pop star Justin Bieber, and sex parties with an Oscar winner and his wife. Well, who could you be talking about, LeakYou? Well, it's alleged that that Oscar winner is Will Smith. And his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. This 60-page book, titled as Kim's Lost Words, claims to be a collection of the diaries of Kim Porter, leaked by her friends. And it describes Sean Combs' colorful love life from the 1990s through Kim Porter's final year, including alleged philandering with both male and female musicians and rappers, including debauched orgies at his home, in which Kim Porter allegedly took part in. Now, this book was published on September 6th, again, just days before Sean Combs was arrested, and it had been indicted on racketeering, sex trafficking, including things such as arson. Arson. I mean, the only thing we did not see in the indictment was murder. And honestly, I think that could potentially come up. If Sean Combs was living the way people claim he was, people surely lost their lives. There's many former bad boy artists, bad boy record artists, right, that are not able to, they have hit records. And these people are riding public buses and parking cars and working as security guards in their current cities, right? It's crazy how so many people made Sean Combs rich. And he seemed to be like a Scrooge Meister type of guy, right? He never seemed to, has a habit of like not paying people for their work, including Rodney Jones. You remember the lawsuit that we've been reviewing of Little Rod, aka Rodney Jones, who has sued Sean Combs and alleged that he was, participating in sexual assault and sex with underage kids. His own son, it is alleged that he participated in these freak-offs with his own son. And I'm even hearing things from people that allege that his mother also took part in these freak-offs. We know she liked to get a drip, right? That infamous video that's going around that shows Sean Combs recovering getting a so-called IV drip, you all. These sex parties went for day upon day upon day upon day upon day. Drugs, sex, everything, requiring that they recover with the help of a medical IV. This is a very short memoir, but the allegations are disturbing, right? Including accounts of Sean Combs slapping Kim Porter after losing his temper, even making death threats to her. And in this book, Porter recounted discovering and making copies of tapes that Sean Combs, Diddy, made of himself having sex with young boys that he was managing, including, again, an alleged tape involving an 18-year-old pop star who later went on to become a household name. I'm talking about Justin Bieber. Now, the final entry in this memoir has Kim Porter falling fatally ill and dramatically texting her friends, quote, "He got me," and then calling 911. This book was written under the pseudonym Jamal T. Millwood. This is a book that has been marked as a print book, again, released on September 6th. Now, the publisher has not offered any documentary evidence to prove its authenticity, but the hard copies are up for sale. Again, it's a #1 bestseller. He said that he was lucky enough to meet someone that reportedly has this flash drive. Now, some additional details in this book of some of the scandals that, have already been reported, such as Diddy allegedly taking out a gun and shooting up a nightclub back in '99. Then making rapper Shine take the fall for him. Shine did 10 years in prison. Shine has recently came out and said that Diddy destroyed his life. Combs and his then girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez, were arrested over the incident, but only Shine was charged. Although for years, we have heard rumors that it was actually Sean Combs that shot that gun, and a woman was shot in the face. Now, these star-studded orgies that seem to involve famous people all over the planet, sports stars, musicians, record executives. I hear over 20 record executives have resigned from their jobs ever since Diddy was surprised. This was a surprise arrest, right? Surprise arrest. Now, can I just say something really quick before I continue with this book? I just want to say, I don't understand why there are YouTubers, people that stream on Rumble or wherever they do their content. I don't understand why anyone would be defending Sean Diddy Combs. But there are people out there defending this man. People that have never been in his orbit. People that have never met him. For some reason, either maybe for the controversy of it all, I don't know. But I will never understand why any man or woman would defend another man or woman's sexual escapades. We've all heard the rumors for years. And so I only got so much time for ignorance. I'm not going to sit around and listen to too much ignorance, right? But there are some very ignorant people that are defending Sean Diddy Combs. And all it's doing is making us give you the side eye. I just want you to know that. Again, freak-offs, arson, drugs, kidnapping, IV fluids, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and sex lubricant that was confiscated in his homes, including 90 plus devices, laptops, tablets, cloud storage accounts. The federal government clearly stated in their indictment that a lot of this evidence, even including some of these freak-offs, are on videos that Sean Diddy Combs took and were on some of his devices. Okay. Not to mention several of these civil lawsuits that have been filed against Sean Combs, including the one by Rodney Jones. He even alleged in his civil complaint that literally hundreds of hours of video footage. He has hundreds of hours of video footage that indicts Mr. Combs, even down to, having sex with minors. It's a whole, Diddy had a whole process of hiring sex workers, okay? There's no telling how much money dude is spent on sex workers alone, right? But in this book, right, it is alleged in this book that these hosted parties were just really fancy names for orgies. And in this book, Kim Porter, allegedly said that she also had threesomes, that they were swapping partners, said that their sex life was crazy, but that she got to do things with Sean that she would have never been able to do with a straight man. She said, now this is allegedly in the book, that she was sleeping with a well-known married woman, woke up and left the bedroom, and Sean happened to be coming out of a bedroom with a chart-topping rapper and that married woman's husband. In the book, it says, quote, "I was grateful I wasn't asked to join in that room because she didn't like that particular rapper." It was also alleged that she and Diddy had an open relationship, and that Kim Porter, regularly slept with the legendary late rapper, Tupac Shakur. Now, listen to this. In this memoir, it states that the first time Sean Combs ever hit Kim Porter was after she refused to use a strap-on him. Quote, "I just can't stop thinking about that night. It was amazing. Can you screw me one more time, please?" This was what allegedly Diddy said to her, to Kim Porter, in this book. The book goes on to say, "I became infuriated," adding that Kim Porter told Sean Combs to instead have sex with a male music executive that she believed he was having an affair with. And then Sean hit me. This was the first time, but he slapped me hard. Before I could form words, he began to beg, "I'm sorry." There was another incident, alleged incident, described in this book where Sean Combs allegedly slammed her to the ground, pulled out a .22, a handgun, sat it on the end table, knelt on a knee and got right in her face and said, "You're mine. You don't have a choice. I can't live without you." She goes on allegedly in this memoir to say that he is a terrifying monster. So different than the image he carefully crafted, right? Also, in this book, Kim Porter allegedly wrote that she discovered videotapes of his sexual encounters in his bedroom vault, made copies of them as protection for herself, as part of her plan to leave him. But when she watched the tapes back, she was shocked, again, that some of these tapes had things that she claims that she never expected. Gay parties, young boys, 2 hip-hop stars formerly managed by Diddy, and again, the alleged 18-year-old pop star Justin Bieber. You all remember the video of Justin Bieber kneeled down in front of Odell Beckham at one of Diddy's parties? So many of us were so confused, right? When we seen that video. It clearly showed a very young Justin Bieber. He looked like maybe in his early to mid 20s. But he was on his knees in front of Odell Beckham. Now, it's being alleged that there are copies of some of these tapes, and that some of them are being shopped on the dark web, that there are sex tapes in the hands of third parties out here. Also, I heard with my own ears this author allege that there is a sex tape of Diddy and Justin Bieber that is currently being shopped in Hollywood and on the dark web. There's also a photo going around of Kim Porter allegedly applying makeup to cover up an injury from one of Sean Diddy Combs' alleged attacks. Now, the photo background actually does match realtor photos of her master bathroom. The same bathroom where she was found dead back in 2018. Sean Combs was sued by an anonymous woman last year who claimed that Sean Combs and 2 friends took turns violently raping her when she was 17 after plying her with drugs and alcohol. But her complaint is one of 11 civil complaints filed against him since 2023. Her suit followed a legal complaint by R&B singer Cassie Ventura, who said that Sean Combs subjected her to savage beatings, drug-fueled hotel orgies, and rape. And what's crazy is that video that dropped back in March of Cassie being beaten up by Sean Combs. It has been stated that and alleged that Cassie was trying to leave a freak off that was happening in the hotel room. He followed her and found her in front of the elevator and began to assault her. And he later paid the hotel thousands of dollars to quell the footage, which allegedly later disappeared. Who held on to it? I don't know, but it sure did leak, didn't it? Again, also Rodney Jones, music producer who worked with Combs, has claimed in a civil lawsuit that he was made to solicit sex workers and perform sex acts to the pleasure of Mr. Combs when he lived with him for 13 months. He also said that underage girls were present at these sex parties, right, at Combs' LA, Miami, and New York homes, even on a rented yacht in the Virgin Islands. Did you all see the video of him being arrested at the Park Hyatt Hotel? He walked in that hotel with his crew, and the federal authorities intervened and said, "Put your hands behind your back. You're going to jail, sir." Again, he's been denied bail. He attempted to appeal, and the appeal judge became very upset with him and his legal counsel, right? And feels that he should not be on the streets. The judge feels like he's a flight risk and a danger. Agents also, when they arrested him, when they did the presser, they had on sticky board, right, pictures of guns that they found in Diddy's homes with the serial numbers defaced. They want to show him as a dangerous man, right? But I still can't get over the the baby oil and lubricant and extra bed sheets, the highly directed, highly arranged parties, okay, where he would supply drugs such as ecstasy, ketamine, GHB, cocaine, the Tucci, the pink drug that is, I hear, is a mix of cocaine and what is it called? Is it MDMA or ecstasy? Ecstasy. It's like a mix of ecstasy and cocaine. Again, after these freak-offs, Combs and some of his victims, even Cassie spoke about this, would typically receive IV fluids to recover from all of the physical exertion and the drug use that was going on. But highly arranged, highly directed parties, these orgies and these being recorded, I hear, from every angle possible. Many, many famous people are on camera and don't even know it yet. I hear many, many people are very nervous in Hollywood right about now, these days. So what do you all think? You cannot validate that Kim Porter ever really even wanted this information released, right? Because she's not alive to tell her side, right? This supposed memoir. She's not, she's gone. She's been dead since 2018. But listen to this. In the civil lawsuit, this is stated as, quote, "Here, Mr. Jones was sexually assaulted by Cuba Gooding Jr. on a yacht rented by Mr. Combs in the U.S. Virgin Islands in January 2023. Mr. Combs was present while Mr. Jones was being assaulted by Cuba Gooding Jr. Mr. Jones was legally on the premises as a guest and invitee of Mr. Combs. Cuba Gooding Jr. was legally on the premises as a guest and invitee, again, of Mr. Combs, and Mr. Combs owned through renting the premises and had dominion and control over the premises where Mr. Jones was harmed. Mr. Combs had dominion, control over the actions of Cuba Gooding Jr. and failed to step in and stop Cuba Gooding Jr. from sexually assaulting Mr. Jones. The conduct of Mr. Combs described was willful, wanton, and malicious. At all relevant times, Mr. Combs acted with conscious disregard for plaintiff's rights and feelings, acted with the knowledge of or with the reckless disregard for the fact that his conduct was certain to cause injury to the plaintiff and intended to cause fear, physical injury, and or pain and suffering to the plaintiff. Now, defendants: Sean Combs, Justin Combs, Christina Coram, and Combs Global knowingly and intentionally participated in, perpetrated, assisted, supported, facilitated a sex trafficking venture that was in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, together and with others, in violation of the 18 U.S.C. 1591 statute. Among other things, defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, his son, Christina Coram, and Combs Global knowingly and intentionally recruited, enticed, provided, obtained, advertised, and solicited by various means Mr. Jones as well as other class members, knowing that defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, Christina Coram, and Combs Global would use means of force, threats of force, fraud, coercion, and a combination of such means to cause Mr. Jones as well as others, some of whom were under the age of 17, to engage in commercial sex acts. I mean, think about it. Father and son participating in the freak-offs together. And then we see him kiss his mom on the mouth and wonder, what in the hell's going on? And then you start hearing rumors about his mother engaging in some of these parties. Do you think she knew? And it's not just Sean Combs and Justin Combs and, these individual people like, Lucian Grange and Ethiopia Habtemariam and Christina Coram. He also sued Chalice Recording Studios, where he said he witnessed a shooting. Love Records, Motown Records, Universal Music Group, Combs Global Enterprises. All of them are defendants in the lawsuit against him. Let me show you all this really quick. Now, to those of you on Twitter and Twitch and Facebook, I've been doing a series on, these civil lawsuits, etc., etc. So if you go and look back at previous videos, you will see that we actually reviewed this particular civil lawsuit in great detail. Shout out to my anonymous source. This is the aftermath of a shooting that it is alleged that either Sean Combs or his son pulled the trigger and shot a man inside of a recording studio. That man was later taken out of the studio, and it was told to police that this man had been shot outside the studio, not inside the studio. They tried to place this man as far away from the crime scene as possible. Some of these images. This is an image of Sean Combs at this same recording studio just hours before the man was shot, right? But there's other images and, screen caps. Even mention of Meek Mill in this lawsuit. Mention of Stevie J in an alleged video of Stevie J having sex with another man, and a tape that Sean Diddy Combs had of Stevie J. And he was passing it around to people. Listen to this footer. He is a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. They can only be talking about Meek Mill. He performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency. Young Miami and her cousin, and sexual acts happening on Thanksgiving Day in Miami. Pictures of Young Miami and the alleged cousin, the same woman that little Rodney Jones says sexually assaulted him on Thanksgiving Day. And you can actually see Sean Combs and Rodney Jones sitting in the background. Photos of sex workers. And in an interesting photo of Rodney Jones, that a photo that Rodney Jones took after he says he woke up in the bed with two sex workers and Sean Diddy Combs, and he doesn't know how he got there. He has no idea. He does not remember how he got there. Rodney Jones would even procure sex workers for Sean Combs. But there's one photo I want to get to. Here's another one here of Mr. Combs allegedly with an underage female. This isn't just a photo taken and put on some blog site. This is actually in the civil complaint of the civil lawsuit that Rodney Jones filed against Sean Diddy Combs. It also alleges another underage female and sex workers. Look at these photos and look at who's there. Isn't that his son, Justin Combs? Justin Combs with an underage female. Mr. Combs attempted to pass off Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs was grooming him to pass him off to his friends. This fear became reality when Mr. Combs introduced Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. while they were on Mr. Combs's yacht. During the introduction, Mr. Combs suggested that Cuba get to know Mr. Jones better. He then left them alone in a makeshift studio on the yacht. Mr. Combs and Cuba Gooding Jr. moments before Mr. Jones is assaulted, as evidenced by a video of which screenshots are embedded. Cuba Gooding Jr. began touching, groping, and fondling Mr. Jones's legs, his upper inner thighs near his groin, the small of his back near his buttocks, and his shoulders. Mr. Jones was extremely uncomfortable and proceeded to lean away from Mr. Gooding Jr. He rejected his advances, and Mr. Gooding Jr. did not stop until Mr. Jones forcibly pushed him away. The following is a screenshot of a video of the encounter with Cuba Gooding Jr. And look in the footnote. It says, quote, "This writer is in possession of the video and will provide a copy to the court." And here is an image from this video that alleges Cuba Gooding Jr. of forcibly touching Mr. Jones on Sean Diddy Combs' yacht. I can't believe I used to have a crush on Cuba Gooding Jr. when I was like 19, 20 years old, when that movie, The Boys in the Hood, came out. Listen, Cuba Gooding Jr. has actually had quite a few scandals of his own when it comes to sexual assault. He's been arrested. He's been convicted. He's been sued by several women of sexually assaulting them. And even did a slew of interviews on CNN and NBC. He went on to several, different news networks doing these interviews and was directly asked about his, scandals. And when I tell you that man kept talking and looking straight ahead as if he didn't even know, it was like there was nothing behind his eyes. These people, I don't know if they have souls or not. I don't know. How many years, you all, have we been hearing these rumors, right? How many years did we hear the rumors of Robert Sylvester Kelly, a.k.a. R. Kelly? We didn't even really get a chance to talk about these, did we? This is more additional evidence in the case with Rodney Jones, right? Now, this is a letter from his attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, who, people have said that he files cases in places where he knows he shouldn't be filing cases because he wants to bring attention to him, whatever, right? But he represents Rodney Jones, right? And he wrote a letter to the court. This is on September 9th. And again, this is the letter in the civil lawsuit that we've been reviewing on my channel, on my platform, right? But it says, this firm represents Rodney Jones, and I write this letter to inform the court of the status of plaintiff's ability to effectuate service of process on defendants Justin Combs and Cuba Gooding Jr. Additionally, plaintiff respectfully requests a 60-day extension to perfect service of process on Justin Dior Combs and Cuba Gooding Jr. In other words, they've been trying to serve Cuba Gooding Jr. and Justin Combs with this lawsuit, and they are running. As detailed below, plaintiff has attempted to work with defendant's counsel in good faith to serve Justin Combs. Unfortunately, defendant Combs' counsel have engaged in deception to run out the clock on serving Justin Combs. On the other hand, Cuba Gooding Jr. has intentionally evaded service of process in this case and all the other active cases he has in the state of New York. Justin Combs, on or about May 17th, 2024, I spoke with Jonathan Davis, longtime counsel for Sean Combs and the remaining Combs defendants. He advised that he accept a Rule 4 waiver of service on behalf of all Combs' defendants and businesses. He indicated that he is not representing defendant Christina Coram or Cuba Gooding Jr. I prepared the Rule 4 waiver and emailed it to him on May 20th, 2024. I contacted him several times asking him to return the fully executed Rule 4 waivers. Mr. Davis assured me that it would be forthcoming. I foolishly relied on his word and stopped my process server from attempting to serve Justin and Sean Combs. On or about July 11, 2024, I received an email and call from Erica Wolf, who informed me that she would represent the Combs defendants in the cases I filed against Mr. Combs in New York and New Jersey. She requested additional time to answer or move in all of the cases. I granted her request. On or about August 26, 2024, Ms. Wolf filed a motion to dismiss Mr. Jones's case, but conveniently left out Justin Combs as one of the Combs defendants. This is a clear game that Mr. Combs and his ever-evolving legal team have implemented in an effort to have Justin Combs dismissed from this case due to lack of service of process. This is the same game that Jonathan Davis and Sean Combs' former counsel, Sean Hawley, recently implemented in California in another lawsuit this writer filed against Sean Combs and his other son, Christian Combs. But let's look, Cuba Gooding Jr. Mr. Gooding Jr. has dogged service of process in this case and every other case he currently has pending in the Supreme Court for the state of New York, New York County. Plaintiff served defendant at his last known address at 10230 West Sunset Boulevard through snail and mail service. Plaintiff served defendant via personal service on or about May 30th, 2024 at 101 Ocean Drive, Miami Beach, Florida. Based on information and belief, the Florida address is for the Hilton Bentley Hotel. Despite receiving snail and mail service and being personally served, Mr. Gooding Jr. has yet to appear in either of the cases. Now one of them is moving for a default judgment. In this case, we have attempted to serve Mr. Gooding Jr. in California and New York. We did not attempt Florida because it was reported that he was living out of hotels in Florida. So he was served at the Hilton Bentley Hotel in a different case. Instead of accepting service of process or making an appearance in this case, Mr. Gooding Jr. decided to conduct a YouTube interview where he discussed Plaintiff Jones in this case. And this is the link, right? And upon information and belief, the IRS recently filed a tax lien on a property owned by Mr. Gooding Jr. in Los Angeles, California. And on July 10th, the state of California filed a state tax lien against Mr. Cuba Gooding Jr. The plaintiff believes that Mr. Gooding Jr. still resides in New York City and believes that his residence may be 60 Collister Street. The plaintiff has attempted to serve Mr. Gooding Jr. at this location several times, and he has refused to answer the door. The plaintiff discovered this is Mr. Gooding Jr.'s address from conducting a skip trace search, which was also confirmed through court filings of a different case. There's so many cases that have been filed against Cuba Gooding Jr. Additionally, this was his address of record for his recent criminal case where he pled guilty for sexual assault. And in conclusion, the plaintiff respectfully requests a 60-day extension to perfect the service of process on Justin Dior Combs and Cuba Gooding Jr. But you all, look at these attachments. Look at this. Hi, Jonathan. Just wanted to give you a heads up that I have a new client. The name blacked out. He is a male sex worker. He is accusing Mr. Combs of giving him a sexually transmitted infection. Look at this. And here is the waiver of service that Tyrone Blackburn sent over to Jonathan Davis. They had agreed to a 90-day extension. And it says, with your consent, I will write a letter to the court informing them of our agreement. Christina Quorum's counsel has accepted a 90-day extension as well. And listen, I heard Christina Quorum is off the grid. Hi, Jonathan. I sent over the waivers. I just filed a stip for Quorum. She will answer in August. Let me know if you want a stip as well. Please send the rule for waivers when you get a chance. You all. After Cassie filed her civil case against Diddy, the floodgates opened. And again, I think many of us also feel in the indictment, victim one is Cassie, aka Cassandra Ventura. This case is going to get much, much deeper and crazier. Okay. There's so much more that is still to come out. But this alleged book, again, is a #1 Amazon bestseller. And like I said, there are people doing live readings. Again, it is alleged that he forced people into these freak-offs, these drug-fueled, days-long orgies with both male and female sex workers. Allegedly arranged and directed these highly produced, aka freak-offs. It's crazy when you hear CNN using the word freak-off, right? And MSNBC and CNN. Listen, before I get up out of here, you all, allow me to pay a few bills if you don't mind. Shout out to the Leak You community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
Man, listen, shout out to Twitter. There's like almost 200 of you all watching right now, and I appreciate you all, and I appreciate those of you over on Rumble as well. Make sure you do check out my Rumble page. You can just search LeakYou.com and you will definitely find me over there. I will be back at another time to speak further on this case. I do want to finish the reading of the civil complaint with Rodney Jones. And also, and there is a part 2 that I'm going to be doing on the reading of the in-depth report regarding Africa Bambaataa that was done by Hip Hop Stands with Survivors. And I will be finishing that up this week, and you all, Make sure that you're subscribed and you've got the bell turned on so that you get the notifications. But it's going to be a busy week this week for sure. So anyway, you all, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. Shout out to those of you in the chat. Gloria, I see you. Donnie, Third Eye, Jay Snake the Great in the building. And this is on the YouTube chat. And shout out to those of you on Facebook as well. All right, you all, I'm going to get up out of here. I will see you all on the next live. Until next time, y'all.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart. Like really, really, really smart. Like